don't know if I'm going to read that one. Hey guys, welcome back to my Corvette channel. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. And no fancy produced video today, no silly costumes. I simply want to have a conversation with you on the 2021 C8 Corvette allocation and why there's so much frustration in the marketplace. Not just with you as a consumer, with us as dealerships. And the right answer to many of your questions right now in the middle of January is, I don't know. And a lot of people are afraid to tell you that, and it's certainly not something that you want to hear. So we're going to talk about that today, give you some insight on the processes and why we don't know, and we hope that, well, I feel confident that things are going to get better, but right now we are in that limbo stage. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Some news information, a couple of stories on allocation situations that I want to share with you guys. Some very real, very raw stuff. So forgive me if once I start talking about this stuff, I get a little cranked up. But first, a big thank you to all the support in the business that we have been able to do. And thank you for reaching out. Corvette Blogger did post the top 100 dealers of 2020 for new Corvette sales. We again finished in the top 10. That's always been my goal, is to keep us in that top 10. I think that's an important place to be. It basically gives us that opportunity to do business with so many of you across the country and right here in our backyard. As an individual, I was number 2 in the country, but big whoop. You know what? That means nothing. I don't talk about that stuff. You know why? Because it means nothing. If you're a customer trying to buy a car today or tomorrow, what I sold yesterday doesn't help you. So I just don't talk about that stuff. All it shows you, though, is I do take what I do seriously. I'm real proud that I'm a Corvette exclusive specialist, although I did sell one Silverado last year. But focusing on one car is a unique thing in the car business. And I'm now into my 26th year doing that. I know some guys will be Corvette specialists and they'll sell a little bit of everything, but this is my focus. 99.9% my existence in the car business is you guys in this car. So thank you for the support. Thanks for the acknowledgement. Gas station coffee. This is Duke and Duchess, actually pretty good. And don't forget tomorrow on our Coffee with Conti show, this awesome coffee that Trey sent us from Black Rifle Coffee. I said I'm going to try the vintage roast. I just love the matte finish in these bags, the thickness of these bags. I got this other one. I think I might try this one though. I just like this. This is so aggressive. This is in your face. Coffee or die. This company owned by veterans. You know the stuff is just kick-ass, man. So one of these we're going to try at our Coffee with Conti show tomorrow, and I know it's going to be fantastic. Okay, let's go to some of these boards I've got behind me, and let's talk directly about 2021 allocation for C8 Corvette, what we know and what we don't know. Right, you guys, let's talk about why there's so much allocation frustration right now in the marketplace on this brand new Corvette. In most cases, 2020 orders that never got built carried over to 2021. For people looking at Corvette, they said, hey, I don't want that first year car. I'm going to jump in on the second year car. So you've got an increased marketplace looking to buy that car. In addition, you've got people that never even thought about buying Corvette that are coming to the marketplace now. And then to top it off, we've got a shorter production cycle and unknown availability when it comes to allocations. So let me catch you up to speed where we're at right now and where we think we're going. So to give you an idea on this allocation system, why it's different at each dealer all across the country, because these aren't numbers just given to dealerships based on what they want or what they need. This is based on sales history and your prior commitment to Corvette. Yes, everybody knew the new C8 car was coming. Many dealers didn't stock 18s and 19s. Oh no, I want to wait for the hot, hard to get car. Everybody's going to want that car. That car, yeah, I'll order a bunch of those. Well, it's a long-term commitment to the marketplace, and that's why you have specialty dealers when it comes to Corvette, and that's why the allocation numbers are all over the place. Here's where we're at so far. Normally, we get a total number of allocation for the year in advance. Now, we normally get 250 to 400 cars in normal environment. I think it's fair to say this past year and even currently, we're not in a normal environment. We're trying desperately to get there. So we don't have this number. I don't know if you guys can see that in red. So I don't have the total number. Okay, so let's say that total number was 300. Then I would know how many pre-orders to take. I'd be an idiot if I took 400 orders if they told me I was getting 300. Shame on me. I did pass third grade. There's no reason to put a customer in that false sense of security that they have a car coming just because you're trying to take a customer out of the marketplace. More on that here in this upload. It's going to blow your mind, some of the stuff that is going on in the marketplace. I knew about it. I've heard about it. Some of you have called me directly. We're going to talk about that. So we don't have that total number. So all we have so far from Chevrolet, their commitment is a 1/4 quantity of allocations. And that's where some of the uneasiness is beginning in the marketplace. Folks are seeing cars being delivered and you've already put down a deposit in most cases. You've got an order in and you don't understand why your order's not moving faster. We are just completing next week the first quarter allocation releases and we still don't even have our second quarter quantities. That's why when you ask, if I'm getting a car, when am I getting a car? The right answer right now is I don't know, because we don't know. And if anybody tells you anything different, well, that's how they intend to do business, and that's up to them. I don't care. I don't want to hear about that. Well, I gave the guy a deposit, and he said this. Well, guess what? He took the deposit to take you out of the marketplace. Okay, more on that here in this video, some stories and stuff I want to share for you. So all we have is that first quarter quantity. We knew in November how many we were going to get in the first cycle. We knew how many allocations we were going to get in December, and we know how many we're going to get next week. We know that in advance. The number in January and December was half of what this number was back in November. This is a number from Chevrolet in which they know that they can build. That's why we have these quantities. So it allows us to process this many orders here. These guys all right here hanging in the winds. Am I going to get placed in cycle 4, cycle 5, or cycle 6? Those numbers right now, we don't know. We were supposed to have them. We're probably not going to have them until first or second week of February. We're hoping there's no delays. Provided there's no delays, you're going to see these numbers right here increase. This conversation is going to be moot and things are going to be great and things are going to be moving along. But because we don't know the quantities in these cycles, it's hard for those of you that are waiting here to tell you definitively when your car's coming. Is this number a lower number? Is this a higher number than what I got in November? Is it lower or higher than what I got in December? If I have these numbers, I can better guess when your car's coming. If somebody said, hey, you're going to get 10 here. Well, these next 10 guys, I can tell because I know when they're going to be released in February that your car's going to come in March or April. I'm able to tell you that. But right now, I don't have that information. No dealer has any of this information right now. All you can go by is your historicals as a Corvette dealership based on what you sold, what you think you're going to get, and where the marketplace is going to be. That's why the answer is I don't know, and that's not what you want to hear. The good news about all this is people want to know. You know why? Because the car is hotter than firecrackers and the demand is huge. This is great for the brand. This has got to be, and it's not just because I'm a Corvette guy. I told you this before. This has got to be the most anticipated sports car in the world in decades. All eyes are focused on us right now. And also some of the things that are about to happen. Yeah, that's in the news segment coming up here in just a minute. Here's something else that you need to know. And that's in regards to 2021 production. It was supposed to start in September. It did not start until December. So in my prediction video that I did a couple of months ago talking about 2020 and 2021 production, I'd taken this out of the equation thinking that, oh yeah, we did cut that because of the extension of 2020 product. So my number, instead of being 42 to 45,000, I predict 21 production to be somewhere around 30 to 32,000 cars. Because right now we don't know, are they going to build all the way through August? Are they going to build in September, October, or November? We don't know right now where 2021 production is going to go. And I think this is predicated on where they are with the Z06 project. If that's done and finished, then I think production for 22 starts in September. It could move to October or November. We're kind of waiting in the wings on how that development process is going. Things are changing at a rapid rate right now, and there's a lot of unknowns right here. Still some unknowns going right here. So keep up to date with this channel. As we get different order cycles, I'll give you an idea when cars are expected to come in. All right, let's look at that other board again. If you can actually see any of this, sorry. So this is cycle 4. If you've got a car that's going to be released in cycle 4, that'll be sometime in February. Your car is going to come in March. depending on when in February that's released, it could move into April. March, guys, you're going to be April, could be into May. That's how that's going to work. So you have an anticipation. So once we have these numbers, we can communicate with these folks in the pre-order list or the 1100 status list and give you some kind of idea when your cars will be arriving. That's very important to stay in contact with your dealership. As we get distribution information, we can share this with you. But the right answer again right now is, I don't know. Plus, there's some things happening with other dealers that you're talking to that are actually adding to your frustration. Let's talk about some of those scenarios, share a couple of stories with you guys in real time, a little bit of news, and then we'll wrap this one up today. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, the stories are endless. I get calls from all over the country. I think I probably sell more Corvettes indirectly. It sure would be nice to get paid on that kind of stuff. I just have that helpful nature, but at some point you have to say, hang on a second. Got a call from a guy yesterday in Washington State trying to buy from his local dealership, and I get that loyalty to your local dealership. But he says, hey, I'm trying to enter my order, and the dealer says that you have to go to 3LT to get front lift. I thought you could get it in 2LT. I thought it came in the package. He says it doesn't any longer. You got to go to 3LT. Guess what? You're both wrong. Front lift is a separate option, but you have to have 2 or 3LT to get it. Then he calls back. He goes, well, now that I got somebody that knows what they're talking about, hey, well, my dealer said this and said, I can't sell the car for the other dealership. And that's where some of the frustration begins, is when you're dealing with somebody that doesn't take this serious, that doesn't know the car, that's disrespectful to you as a customer for spending this kind of money. That's one of the things I enjoyed when I said I'm going to stay in the car business and I'm going to focus on Corvette. I wanted to deal with this high level of customer. You take a lot of that qualification crap out of the scenario. You're dealing with a great level of customer. They're buying the most expensive car that Chevrolet builds. So the wherewithal and the ability to buy, that's out the window. Now let's have a conversation about you and this car. So that was just one call that I got just recently. And when it comes to these allocation orders right now, because we don't know, because of the scenarios we were giving you there, and that's real-time, realistic stuff, so you have maybe a little better understanding on why everybody's waiting in the wings, including us. But yet there's dealers that you're shopping and they're not taking sold orders. Sold orders is a privilege between you and the dealership, and it's something that we enjoy doing because it gives you a chance as the customer to build a car the way that you want it. I think that's the way that it should be. You're spending that kind of money because we're not in an environment right now where there's a bunch of cars on inventory and you just come in and pick one. That's when I would come in and I would order certain stuff, and I always have that keen sense of what you guys want. In most cases, we have what you want on the lot, but we're not to that stage yet. You're over a year away before you can walk in and just have inventory sitting there. So you are ordering the cars if a dealer elects to enter a sold order for you. I talked to several people yesterday, in fact, and this happens constantly. I know there's a dealer in Arizona and all over the country that are refusing to do sold orders. They just want to deal with it. They're going to order whatever allocation they get for inventory, put them on the floor, and then bid them up to get as much money as they can. He wants to put the cars on the floor and sell them for at least $15,000 over sticker. Now, because there's a low availability, that creates a higher demand. Some people are paying that. Some people are paying more. Story on that in my own backyard coming up here in just a second. So that's how that dealer elected to handle his allocation. I don't agree with it, but that's how they wanted to do it. And from time to time, you've heard me on this channel talk about my frustration with other Chevy dealerships and their Corvette representation. Now, not all dealers are like that. There's some guys out there taking good care of their customers, doing a really nice job, and I commend that. But it's the guys that disrespect the market, the brand, you as a customer, and us as a focused Corvette dealership where I get frustrated why they earned an allocation and shouldn't have. Because in the days when it was tough to sell the car, everybody knew a new car was coming, nobody wanted to take allocation for the 19 car. Now, don't want to keep the plant working. I want to wait for that hot, hard to get car. Yeah. And when the market cools down, they're like, oh, I don't want any more Corvette allocation. It takes too long to sell and there's no profit margin in that car. I don't want that. So that's not a commitment. A commitment is good times and bad. And that's what myself and our dealership has always done for you guys as a Corvette customer. So knowing that, there's a dealership in Columbus. He will remain nameless. Some of you guys watching right now will know who that is. Doesn't get a lot of allocation. They would say, hey, why does Coughlin get all these cars? Well, Again, it's historicals. It's earned allocation. So now the new C8 is hotter than firecrackers, and they were getting like single-digit cars and needed a car, complained and complained and complained, and got this extra flexible car from the zone and was given to them. So what did they do with it? Did they take care of a customer that was waiting to place an order? No, they put it on the showroom floor and they bid it up to $35,000 over sticker. And that's why I get frustrated when guys like that get allocations that yeah, we should have gotten, okay? So that's where my frustration comes in, talking about those scenarios. And this I just watched on social media the other day, and I've talked about this countless times with you guys on the phone. When you put down a deposit, and that's something you need to know. With the folks that are ordering with us, I haven't asked for a deposit up front. That's what everybody else is asking. They want a deposit up front. And then when you give a deposit, you mentally think that you've bought a car. All you've done is put in a request because of what we talked about earlier, because we just don't know the quantities that are coming in yet. So we got the request there in the event that this all populates. So that deposit gives you a false sense of security because you think you're doing business because money's changing hands. For the dealership, all they're trying to do is take you out of the marketplace right now. Every dealer's got a different process. Some guys will not even enter your order and give you a GM order number. They'll take your money, but they won't even give you a GM order number until your order actually becomes a live released allocation. Again, each dealer's got his own thing. I'm putting in orders as a pre-order request for you guys in your name, ordered in your options. And then when it's finalized, then we have a detailed discussion and change all that. And let me just talk about that for a second too, because I'm going to jump ahead here. Let me read this, and then I want to come back to that. Here's something I saw on one of the boards out there. It says, I put my deposit down for a 2020 back in September of 19. Then I was told I was being pushed to a 21. My order went into the December allocations. That would have been cycle 1 back there. I sent my build information to my sales guy and asked him to email me a copy of the order to make sure everything was okay. Good call. I never received anything from him. I called and texted him, telling him to send me a copy of the order so I can review it. Finally, he just called the dealership and said, is there anybody there that can send me a copy of my order? Because I felt like they were dodging me. I begged, literally begged to get a copy of my order that's already been released. Finally, I go to the dealership to get a copy of that order. Everything on the order was wrong except for the exterior color, and now it's at 3,000 status. I wanted to know if there's any way that he could change the order now that it's actually released in a live order. This is a dealership in blah, 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 California. So here again is how the process is. We have advanced information on these numbers, okay? But in real time, as the numbers are dispersed, they're dispersed on the Thursday in that cycle. So again, we know in advance, but when you get them that Thursday, it's always nice to look and make sure there's no constraints, any pieces, parts, or colors, or what have you, that may not be available for orders that you're releasing within that particular cycle. So on that Thursday, you really have Thursday till Saturday to contact your customers, line up your orders. I want these, bing, 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 bing. These are going to be released. Batch processing pulls those orders on a Saturday. And then on Tuesday, they're given back to you in a placed tab. That'll be your very last time to touch that order and make any changes. You can't do it on Monday because batch processing is still lining all that stuff up. So on that Tuesday, from the Thursday tag that ended on Saturday, then you can have that last chance. So really, even though we know a couple weeks in advance what's coming, I know what I've got coming this coming Thursday. Once they give you that, you've got from that Thursday till Tuesday to make those changes. So why this guy didn't get any information is beyond me. Every dealership has their thing and how they do order. Some guys will put your order in at 1100 status and say, well, that's it. You can't make any changes. Wrong. When it's released on that Thursday, up until that Tuesday, you can make changes. After that, and when it goes to 3000 status, then it's game over. I could really take that a step further, but it's not really the place for me to do, and I could upset a lot of people at Chevrolet. So we're just going to say, yes, that's it. It's over after 3000 status. So it's unfortunate for me to see that type of representation. At that point, when you got a car that's all jacked up like that, if you're forced to take that, I'd be shocked, man. I would try to get a different car, but right now in today's environment, it's difficult just to go and get an extra car because there's just nothing available. Again, I'm jumping ahead. I was going to share these a little later, but let's just talk about it. This is an email I got directly. Rick, I've been joining the YouTube channel. Thanks, appreciate that. Really looks like you're having fun representing the car. Wanted to pick your brain about my local dealership that won't tell me where I am on the list. He tells me it's complicated. It is. as we just discussed. It depends on the factory. Yeah, everything that we talked about, he's correct on that. But here's where he's a little bit wrong. He says that I'm on the convertible list as opposed to the coupe list. Wrong. When the allocation comes up, you can switch it coupe, convertible. There is no separate list. I don't know what he's talking about. Many of you had a coupe ordered with us, and when your order comes up in the cycle, you say, hey, I'm going to flip that to a convertible. Not a problem. You can take that order number and change it any way you wish once it's in the system. Coupe, convertible, change your packages, change your colors, change everything. So he's wrong on that. I'm concerned that he's taken more deposits than cars that he can deliver for 2021. What's your take on that? That's probably the case. It's really probably the case. And it's happening a lot out there. Again, everybody's reaching for that deposit right away. Hey man, I don't need the practice. I've been doing this 25 plus years. I simply want to do business with you guys. That's why I'm not asking for a deposit up front until the allocation is actually released, it's live, and it's confirmed. There's some dealers out there, and it's funny, I've talked about it, and I actually talked directly with one of these guys the other day. The guy's in the mid 300s with a dealership that I know gets 40, 50, maybe on a good day, 60 cars. Okay, he's got money in with this guy. He's been waiting over a year. And now that he's understanding the matrix and the numbers, let's just face it, that dealer has no right in taking that many deposits. If you get 50 cars and you take 100 deposits, why are you doing that to those people and giving them a false sense of security? Again, it's some of the old antics, the games. I want to take those guys out of the marketplace. I got that customer. And then what happens is you get wore down mentally. You're like, oh, well, this guy's had my money for this long and I've waited this long. I'm not happy, but I don't want to start over. I'm just going to stay with this guy. That's not a way to buy this car, I'm sorry to say. So this guy in the mid 300s, in addition, he goes, I'm on the Z06 list. I'm like, dude, let me tell you something. If he gets 50 cars when Z06 is finally announced, he's probably only going to get 10 or 15 Z06s. We don't control that. That'll be another controlled allocation within what's already a controlled distribution program. It'll be like that for probably, I think, at least 2 years. So get prepared for that. And that's one of the reasons I'm taking an info list of serious people wanting Z06 for 2022, 2023, and not committing anything really directly just yet because, as we've said in this entire video, we don't know. Why would I make a commitment to you on something that's not been announced yet? We don't know the distribution. We don't know production. That's not fair to you or to us. It's crazy that stuff's going on right now in real marketplace. I'm just shocked that somebody that gets 40, 50, 60 cars, it would take, there's no reason for that. I mean, maybe mentally the dealer thinks that he's going to get that many cars because he's thinking like the customer. Well, I gave a deposit. Well, I took a deposit. I'm going to get this car. And that's wrong too. If it's not earned allocation, you're not going to get it just because you want it. It's what you've earned in the past. A couple of quick stories about sold orders. As I mentioned earlier, some dealers won't even enter your sold order until the allocation comes up. Just has your deposit sitting in a folder. That doesn't make you feel real safe because you don't even have a GM order number to refer to. And one of the reasons I like to do a sold order is, number one, because it's you and it makes the purchase that much more special, but also two, in the environment that we're in right now, it price protects you. So if the price is increased after your order's entered, you are price protected. But then again, some dealers don't even honor the price protection. Everybody's kind of got their own gig. But let me tell you why entering a sold order sometimes can hurt us as a dealership. And it's a little disheartening, a little frustrating for me too, because like I said earlier, I love dealing with this high level of customer. The ability to buy is out the window. I appreciate you guys being flexible. We work with people all over the country. And if you have a sold order that's ordered for, let's use John Smith, and it's ordered for John Smith, and you've seen back out situations, and I'm going to talk about 3 of them here in just a moment. So you see back out situations come up, but that car's ordered for John Smith. We end up selling it to somebody else. Eventually, because we're in this environment of controlled allocation, if you have too many of those, you have a higher percentage of things like that that happen and guys back out, then we as a dealership are penalized from Chevrolet and don't have the ability to enter a sold order. Then we can't price protect you and you can't have that sheet, that nice historical, this is my order for me and my selections. You can't do that because these people are not honoring the commitments. After we made a commitment to you guys, people are backing out, and I get it, situations happen, but some of these were kind of weird. Let me give you a couple of nutty situations. I have a past customer from Texas that ordered a car for 2021. We've done business with him in the past. For some reason, okay, not for some reason, I get that he said, well, let me give some allegiance to my local dealership. I get that, I respect that. Gave them $5,000. Didn't tell me he did that. Ordered a 21 with me, I released the allocation. It's a week before it gets built as a museum delivery. Calls me and says, mind you, I didn't take a deposit. It was a past customer. I put a lot of trust into you guys. I guess I just have that gullible face. Am I just that gullible? I put a lot of trust in people, and we do get burnt. So he calls me, says he can't take the car because this dealership that didn't have an allocation for him, haven't confirmed an allocation even for 2021, won't give him his money back, period. They don't even have a car that they can guarantee him. Don't even know if they're going to get him a car and won't give him the money back. My car that I ordered for him is being built the following week at the National Corvette Museum. I mentioned that in a blurb on the vlog. Mike and Heather from Wisconsin jumped all over it and actually took the museum delivery. We'll show that in a future vlog coming up. When I say thank you for the flexibility, those are one of the situations I'm talking about. They got a beautiful car, and I'm of that believer that things happen for a reason, but that hurt because I spent a lot of time answering questions, going over options, scenarios, timelines, release the order, and then I just get blasted that I can't take this car because this dealership, and to this day, has not gotten him a car and has not given him his money back. I said, dude, you need to get an attorney. This is a little wacky. It'd be different if you ordered a car. And here's why some dealers won't give you your money back after the car's been released, after the order's been released. If it's a sold order, because like I just said, we get penalized if we have too many of those cancellations. Also, too, there could be financial penalties to the dealership. There could be allocation losses. So that's why if you put a deposit down and the dealer says you can't get it back after it reaches 3,000 status, that's why, because there are implications back to us as dealerships on an order that you spec. It's not like a car we had for stock and you just bought it. Okay, so that was one nutty situation. The other one was a guy that, again, I've got to be gullible. Backed out of a 19 order, ordered a 20 that never got placed, backed out of that, ordered him a 21, order released, and all of a sudden, and this is after a long hour and 20-minute conversation, a wonderful conversation. I had every confidence that we were moving forward and we were doing business. He backs out of that order. At the last minute, I was able to put somebody else in that car. Again, a small blurb. Doris in Denison, California responded immediately, very flexible, wasn't their first choice, but loved the color. We're going to show that on a vlog coming up next week, part of our Send-Off Pat celebrations. So thank you so much for that. And then just recently, I don't even know where I want to go with this one. The video I did for the guy, I took it down. So I don't know if I was being lied to or what, man. I just don't know. Over a year conversations, huge anticipation for ordered car in their behalf to their specs was the Zeus Bronze hardtop convertible for the gentleman in Florida. I was told that he was sick. We held the car for 60 days. We paid interest on it. We didn't sell it to a number of people that wanted it. We had brokers offering us $15,000 over sticker for the car. We would lose the allocation. So we're all about the customer, the repeat business, the referrals. So we didn't do any of that. They sent me over driver's license, insurance card, ready to go, sent the contracts, and then all of a sudden, it's crickets. Dude, not a respond to my text, not a return phone call, not a return email for 2 weeks. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Weird situation. And not to be mean, I don't even know if the guy was sick. Yeah, man. I looked on his wife's Facebook page and they're celebrating down at Disneyland World, whatever the heck it is down there, after this conversation took place. So that car became for sale immediately, had about 50 inquiries on it. Thank you, everybody. The car sold immediately to David and Kathy in Texas, and I thank them for their flexibility and watching the channel and giving us an opportunity to work with you guys. So those are some nutty situations, but if I have any more of those backouts, do I reach that percentage? Then all of a sudden I'm handcuffed, and then I don't have the ability to custom order a sold order for you in your behalf. So that's why we got to be careful, and that's why, hey man, if this is going to happen, that don't waste any of your valuable time or mine. Okay? Now, you know why that probably happened in those scenarios I just discussed? It's because, again, I put so much trust in those customers and I never took any money from them. So I don't think that they felt like they were tied or committed to it. They didn't have a stake in the game. And yeah, so I put myself out there. I became a little vulnerable. And the conversations I have with you guys, this level of customer, that shouldn't even be a question. But there's other situations that have happened. I've got one guy that ordered a car 2021, now that we're talking stories, and he is so frustrated. You can hear it. He's cussing on the phone. He's so mad, wants his new car so bad. And then, you know, this is a true situation for a back out. And just had a situation, Jim, if you're watching, I hope that you're doing well. Situation that he's now blind in one eye. Doesn't know if he's going to get that sight back. He can't drive, so he certainly can't take the Corvette that he wanted so desperately. Yeah, those are some weird situations. Let's talk real quick about some things going on in the marketplace. The Consumer Electronics Show, Chevrolet is and GM as a whole are moving forward. This electric thing is happening. And I think, yes, I told you it was going to happen. I think it's just happening faster for Corvette. And how about the Corvette SUV? I told you guys that was going to happen, and it looks like it's coming. Look at this picture. You can kind of see what looks like a silhouette of what could be a Corvette SUV crossover. I mean, everybody is talking about that. There's some electric cars that are going to be tested here soon. We know that those will probably come to market in 23, 24. The SUV might be 25, 26, but it's happening, guys. What did Tom Peters say in the second edition of the Corvette Revolution C8 mid-engine documentary?
But I'm here to tell you that that is just the tip of the iceberg. Just imagine where it can go from this point. This is just the beginning.
That's right. This is just the beginning. But what it is right now, it's V8 raw power. So let's get one of those. And that's why, on a personal note, if I may, in next week's allocation, that January cycle that's coming up, I'm releasing my allocation. I'm so busy. I've got every reason over the 25 years that I didn't order a car. Attempted to buy one 2 or 3 times and just couldn't for reasons that, you know, life is. But if I don't do this now, I could say, no, I can't, I'm busy, and no, I can't do this, and no, I could justify it, but I don't think if I don't do this now that I never will. And I'm starting to get that internal little giddy feeling that you guys get when you buy your car. That's building up for me now. I'm getting excited about it, and I want what the car is right now. We'll embrace and support whatever the team brings us for Corvette. I know it'll be well done and it'll be well thought out for our future, but right now I'm having a tough time putting my arms around this electric thing. It's just kind of weird. Because we've been so busy and I've been so focused on taking care of business, I've had zero free time to get on the phone, which is going to take some time to get my personal site back up, and I do apologize because that's a good way for me to communicate with you guys, show you the order status that everybody's in, what number you are, who's going in the next blocks. I'm having a conversation on Monday. My gosh, I hope I get that site back up for both of us. And thank you for the opportunities and thank you for the understanding. But yeah, I've got to earmark some time to talk to these guys in Chicago, get the site back up. I'm just going to do a quick shell blog site, bam, 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 and just share that information, update it in real time. So everybody is not so uneasy and has some kind of idea on where you're at. So I'm looking at my notes here, and in my head, this vlog did not go the way that I wanted it to. So I'm hoping that in my ramblings and going here, there, and everywhere, that you were able to understand what is going on with Corvette allocation right now in real time, and why the answer is I don't know when your car's coming, and I don't know if I'm going to get the required quantities. I'll continue to take those pre-order requests. I'll continue to update you guys in realistic terms, in real time, as we get more distribution information from Chevrolet. Because the bottom line is, they don't know what they can commit to us, what they can build. Provided that there's no more delays, Okay, there's no more delays. They don't go to one shift, any of that kind of stuff. There's no shutdowns. Where I'm at right now, yes, my big number, I should be in good shape to take more orders and process every order that I've taken so far. But I don't know right now. One more quick piece of Corvette news and we're going to get out of here for the day. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch and listen. I know you guys do listen very intently. I know you do. You listen to everything I say, so I got to be very careful in the manner in which I say it. Something fun, but not that most of my audience would know this or play this, but the new video game Forza just come out with the C8 Corvette. Here's a small clip from my son Ryan. Now, when I get my car, he better not drive like that, or he'll never see the keys. Tomorrow, it's coffee. Yeah, man. It is coffee with Conti. We'll try this Black Rifle coffee, let you know how it tastes. I anticipate this is going to be really good, and I'm going to be ordering a lot of this. We're going to begin our send-off Pat celebration week. Try to get in as many customers that we've filmed and haven't shared on the channel with you guys. And I'm going to start off tomorrow with one of the most unique and fun deliveries of 3 local customers. Yeah, stars lined up on this one, man. That's tomorrow morning on Coffee with Conti. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that this info, these ramblings, this feedback, this from the heart, from the gut situations that I've shared with you help you understand just a little bit better. Like I said, it may not be what you want to hear. I just appreciate you understanding and giving us an opportunity all across the country, right here in Ohio, to be a part of your special Corvette purchase. All right? And as the market changes, well, we're going to talk about it right here on this channel. That's why, here we go, here comes the segue. That's why I want you to subscribe. It helps us grow. It helps us do more things for you guys, so hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, and give this video a thumbs up, and make those comments down below. I always love to hear from you guys. Have a great day. Thanks again.